Welcome back to the news. I'm your host Kellerman, and here's some of the that's been going on in the world. In Venezuela, protests broke out over the weekend as the country's presidential election votes were tallied and current president Nicolas Maduro claimed victory, despite growing evidence that his opposition Maria Machado actually won. In Canada, a wildfire has burned 79,000 acres of forest in Jasper National Park. It's destroyed over 400 buildings, displaced over 1,300 people, and is expected to continue burning for months. In England, 2 children were killed and 9 were injured in a mass stabbing at a Taylor Swift-themed dance and yoga event. Turkey's President Recep Erdogan made statements about invading Israel to help Palestinians, but wasn't clear as to whether or not he's actually planning to do that. And as Israeli strikes across Gaza have killed at least 19 people, including children, a rocket launched into Israel hit a soccer field, killing 12 children and injuring 20 others. Hezbollah denied having any involvement in the strike, but Israel struck targets in Lebanon in retaliation anyway, while also stating that they want to avoid all-out war. Welcome to the news. I'm your host Kellerman, and here's some of the going on in the world today. In India, heavy rains caused a massive landslide, killing over 120 people, and dozens are probably still trapped. Rescue efforts are underway but are being hindered by continued storms and the collapse of a bridge. In the United States, the Park Fire in Northern California continues raging, having already destroyed over 380,000 acres. Police have the suspected arsonist who started it all in custody. And I have some updates on a few recent reports, starting with a correction from yesterday. I had said that a missile struck a soccer field in Israel, but to be clear, the soccer field was in Golan Heights, which is in an area of Syria controlled by Israel. And Israel did, in fact, retaliate, striking a residential area of Beirut, which killed a Hezbollah commander and at least one other person and injured 20 others. In Bangladesh, the shoot-on-site curfew has been relaxed, the internet has been turned back on after 11 days, and protests continue despite the death toll of around 200 people during last week's protests. And a third child died from the mass stabbing in Southport, England, sparking a riot during which 39 police officers and 3 police dogs have been injured. Cars have been set on fire and shops have been looted. Welcome to the news. I'm your host Kellerman, and here's some of the going on in the world today. Russia is releasing at least 9 high-profile political prisoners in what's being described as its biggest prisoner swap since the Cold War. The deal includes prisoners from the US, Belarus, and Germany, and I make this show in TikTok, which has 0 videos related to this story, so you got cats in a new trial that took place at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. The supposed mastermind behind the 9/11 terror attack, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, and 2 of his accomplices pleaded guilty to conspiracy charges in exchange for life in prison rather than a death sentence. Boar's Head is recalling 72 million pounds of deli meat and ready-to-eat products under the Boar's Head and Old Country brand names after at least 13 cases of listeria across the United States have been linked to their products. And as you may recall, I went to Comic-Con in San Diego, California last weekend, but little did I know that while I was there, police arrested 14 people during a Comic-Con sex trafficking sting operation. Welcome to the news. I'm your host Kellerman, and if you haven't been paying attention to the Olympics, let me catch you up on a few things. First, there was some religious controversy over the opening ceremony for what I think are fairly obvious reasons. There was also some gender controversy over Algerian boxer Iman Khalif, who is a woman but had previously been barred from fighting for supposedly testing positive for both X and Y chromosomes. She did, however, meet the International Olympic Committee's standards for the competition and punched her opponent so hard that people started calling her a man. France won 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in BMX racing, sweeping the competition. Chinese swimmer Pan Zhan Li broke the record for fastest 100-meter freestyle swim, finishing in 46.92 seconds. And the United States set a new world record for fastest 4x400 relay race, completing 4 laps in 3 minutes, 7.41 seconds. It's awesome. Current top 5 countries are China with 13 gold medals, France and Australia with 11, and the United States and Great Britain with 9. Follow me if you like the Olympics, or if you give a shit.